Hi, I'm on a mission to meet Africa's most interesting entrepreneurs. And on today's episode of The Big Question, I'll be meeting an amazing individual. He's an author, he's a leadership coach, and he's a keystone speaker. My name is Gift, and like the Diary CEO will always say, I hope no one is watching, but if you are, keep it to yourself.
When you're working in your purpose, it gives you a lot of satisfaction, fulfillment, and inner energy. You see, if you are on the wrong lane and you're successful, you're still a failure. You're still a failure because that's not what you were called to do. Every one of us, we have an assignment. We have a delicate purpose. There's something we were born to deliver. If I become so successful in tech, that could be a lot of advantage to me, but that would be a distortion to why I was born. I was born to serve a delicate purpose. So our parents didn't have any better than our life. They had their worst days. They had their tough days. But they learned how to protect their secrets and keep it until they solved that problem. But for us, everything, we try to put it on social media and then tear ourselves apart. These things travel so far, and then it creates a lot of problem in the minds of people. So it's not my life, but you're a part of a society.
Very important.
And because you're part of a society, people are looking up to you, need to be inspired by you. Don't tell us things that will not inspire us. Keep those parts of you that are not excellent within. Protect yourself. Tomorrow, that same thought of yours could be all that there is to mess your whole life up. That's why you must be careful with social media. It doesn't forget.
Give us like a little foundation.
Okay. My name is Ikeme Good News. I'm the lead president of the Good News Leadership Institute.
Yes.
I run a company called GAT Technology. It's a visual arts company. I'm an author of 3 published books. I have a book on Amazon.
Yes.
Getsamine, that's the name.
Yes.
I have Angels and Sex. I have Sower to Success. I'm currently working on the therapy book, Why Am I Depressed? So these are a few things I do at the moment. Let's let it at that point.
So when I was looking into you for the sake of this, I stumbled upon your book on Amazon, Getsamine, and I realized how much skills you've had over time.
Yeah.
What made you write that first book?
Okay.
Why that book? Why that title first?
Okay. Getsamine is not my first book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my second published book.
Oh.
My first published book is called Sower to Success. I wrote the book when I was 19. That's when I officially published the book. But I started writing somewhere around 17, 18, but then published at 19. I did write that book because I was inspired to do. I met this man who changed my life, Dr. Miles Morrow. He told me about the fact that there is so much trapped within me that the world needs to get. And so I thought about serving my leadership, serving what I already have inside, and so I had to write a book.
Now, I feel one of the subtitles of the book was Mystery Revealed, right?
Yes. No, that's my second book, Getsamine.
Yeah, Mystery Revealed, Getsamine. Why that title?
Okay, for Getsamine, the Mystery Revealed, it's very focused on, I don't know if you know about the book, but the book is titled about the power of prayer.
Yes.
Yeah. I stumbled upon the ministry of Jesus anyways, and what he had to do before he went to Golgotha. And it was a lot of sacrifice in the place of prayer. And then he got himself to be ready for the cross. You know, most people think of Jesus dying on the cross as where he died first. No, that was not where he died first. He died first in Getsamine. Because if you look deep into that scripture, it tells us that he prayed until his sweat became a cloud of blood.
Yes.
Now, it was not just sweat. Truly, blood came out of his spots. Because if we look back into medical history, there's such a thing known as hemidrosis, where out of anguish and pain and so much intense suffering, your sweat dots can blow up and then blood can come out of it. So the mystery about that book is actually the depth pain Jesus had to go through first, looking up to what he was going to see in the cross. So that place prepared him for the cross.
After writing that book, how much impact do you think that book have had in your personal life first?
Yeah.
Before the world at large? Like, how much impact?
First, it gives me the concept of true sacrifice and love. how the people can be willing to pay with their life to see many other people have a better and a greater life. It impacted me first, and I thought about giving back to society, and I've seen many people write to me from foreign nations. Of course, I had someone even supported the publication of that book from the United States, because when they got the book and read it for the first time, it actually changed their personality and also affected their prayer life. So it's been a lot of blessing to a lot of people around the world. I can tell you, from different nations of the world. Yeah.
For me personally, right, writing that book is led to an outburst of a lot of things.
Yes.
I would want to say, because for you to write, that means you are not selfish.
Yeah.
That's one of the criteria. You are not selfish. You've led a lot of things.
That's true.
By leading, you also have discovered yourself.
That's true.
So how would you say leadership in itself is for you? Why do you think you're a leader?
Okay. Thank you so much. First, leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less, and much more on the basis of leadership. It is about how much you help others become better than how much you become better. So earlier today I wrote something and I said leadership is not about advancing yourself, it's about advancing other people. True leadership, it's not powering over people and becoming too manipulative. It's about helping people find purpose, and then they can serve their purpose to the world, and together we can all change and make this world a better place.
Wow. I found out something recently.
Yeah.
And from little things like our family,
Yeah.
our relationship, we are leaders.
That's true.
Even our personal life, we're leading ourselves.
Yes, you begin with yourself.
We begin with ourselves. What would you say is one thing we are doing wrong in the path of leading ourselves?
Okay.
What would you say is that one most important thing, or the group of things that's negatively affecting the leadership skill in ourselves? Because it's easier to even lead other people than lead yourself.
Yes.
Because you think you don't have control over yourself if you just do things anyhow. But you can lead yourself. So what is that thing we are failing to do while leading ourselves?
Mahatma Gandhi, if I'm not mistaken, said that you can't change the world until you change yourself first. If I'm not mistaken, if he's the one that made that quote, but you can't serve leadership without first beginning with yourself. So I think one of the things why a lot of people do not give excellent leadership is identity crisis. They fail to recognize their potential, their ability, and their cause for service. So you can't lead people rightly until you first lead yourself. You must look out for areas of your life that requires adjusting, and then cause that adjustment first before you serve adjustments to the world. People won't listen to you if you're not first influenced by the inspiration you possess. You've got to be a better person first. I'm not saying you're going to be a better person 100%, but I dare say that you must come up a bit. Change a part of you that is very important, and then you can now start serving it to other people. It begins with you.
So what are the things you think we should do?
Okay, first, if you ask me the things I think you should do when it comes to leadership as a tool, number one, seek to discover who you are. If you do not know who you are, you cannot do so much. Now find out your purpose. Leadership is basically about serving your giftings. It's much more than a position. For a lot of people, for leadership, they just want a title.
Yes.
They want a name attached to them. That's not what it is in its entire sense. As a matter of fact, position is the lowest level when it comes to leadership. People will only follow you from position because they have to. They were instructed to. At some point, if you don't win over, they won't follow you so long. I think we'll talk about that later, but I think first discover who you are. Find out your purpose. When you know why you were born, because you see, every one of us were born with a gift. We're born with something so beautiful and peculiar that we've got to serve to the world. When you uncover it, then you can serve it to the world. I used to always say, until you discover yourself, you cannot serve yourself to the world. So find out why you were born. Why are you here? What's the essence of your life? I don't think you are an add to the population of the world. There is something specific about your life that you've got to serve. Look out for that thing that makes a lot of sense and you do at ease. And that's how it begins. Literally, that's how it begins.
So the bedrock of this channel is under three things.
Okay.
Self-development,
Yeah.
productivity, and tech. Now, why I felt self-development was one of the most important key factors was purpose.
Yeah.
When you find purpose and you develop yourself, by extension, the world becomes a better place.
Sure.
Because if you as a person, as an individual, becomes better, 10 people are obviously better.
Yeah.
100 people will become better.
Yeah.
Because everyone is working to the betterment of the society, but it has to be individual based.
Okay.
Jordan Peterson said something. He said before you go out to protest, you have to dress your bed. Dressing your bed doesn't mean your room needs to be clean.
Yeah.
It means that you have to find your purpose and work on it.
That's true.
What would you say about relationships and how self-development can positively affect relationships?
Now, let me also ask, what's context when you speak about relationships? So
First,
I
family. This is my personal definition.
Okay.
First, family. Two, we've spoken about ourselves.
Yeah.
Then, actual emotional relationship. Like
Okay.
the opposite sex, opposite gender relationship.
Okay. So if we start with family, I think family comes in a big place. One of the biggest issues we have is clear parenting. You know, sometimes most parents just decide on what their child is going to become. They don't find out what the child was born for. They feel
Very true.
yeah, I come from a society where doctors are highly reverenced, engineers are highly reverenced, politics is the big business. So my child is going to be a politician, my child is going to be a medical doctor, and then they fight the original true identity of that child. So when it comes to family-child relationship in discovering purpose, the parents must find out what this child has flair for. I've always heard people say, I stress to go to work on a Monday morning. If you always find such situation, it means you were not caught for that.
True.
Because your purpose gives you strength.
True.
When you discover that your child gets a lot of energy from one craft or one thing they do so interesting and is genuine and good, you want to start looking towards that direction and help that child enhance that skill. Many parents has killed the purpose of a child because they want their own purpose to be fulfilled in their children's life. It doesn't work that way. Only a child truly know the quality and the identity of their personality. Parents should be smart and careful enough to pick that. Now, when it comes to relationship, emotional relationship, you're not going to do well in your relationships if you are going to be getting into dating relationships with people who are not going your direction. You must have an alignment in this. You see, relationships are beautiful when you are dating someone who is aligned to your passion.
Hear that.
Who is aligned to your passion. I mean, if you're a tech person, nothing's as sweet as having a tech person in your life.
Very true.
I mean, you're going to talk tech.
True.
But if you're a tech person and the other guy is a comedian, they will make you laugh, but you're not going to have a lot of alignment when it comes to tech. So the point is, this is why purpose is so important, and it's paramount on all of this. Purpose is the guiding line. If I'm in my purpose, it distracts me from something that is not working in line with my life.
True.
So if I'm truly in my purpose, I'll be able to identify that this babe, nice, great, but we're going to live together. Because you can be a great person, a good person, but we're not supposed to be dating. You could just be an extension of relationship and network for me when I need something at the other end, but we shouldn't be dating. But sometimes we look at somebody and this girl looks so beautiful, this guy looks so nice, and in your head, I like them, I'm dating them, I'm going to get married to them. It doesn't work that way. They could just be good network for you for something big. It doesn't mean you're going to marry them. And that's how it works. So I think basically that when it comes to purpose and emotional relationship, if you don't discover yourself, you cannot discover who matches up with your life. That's a great deal for me.
You see, when I found out purpose, one of the first things I found out was the fact that your purpose makes you find your lane.
Exactly. That's the truth.
And by finding your lane, you are not influenced by what others are doing. Literally.
Yeah.
Because if someone is, you use tech as an example. If my purpose is to talk about self-development to young people across the world, bring other people, interview them, ask very positive questions that will develop the minds of larger audience. Somebody that is, let's say, someone that is selling clothes, even though the person is earning more than I am, I will not be tensed because that is not my purpose. And if I try to sell clothes, if I try to sell shoes, jewelry, I might start struggling.
Exactly.
When you found out your purpose as an individual, what were the first things you started doing? Like what brought you from, because you're a very good communicator.
Yeah. Thank you.
And it's an advantage to your purpose. So
Yeah.
what are the things you started doing over time that have developed you into your purpose?
Sure. You see, like you talked about money. You see, money is one powerful motivation. Everybody,
we are definitely going to talk about
everybody wants to have some cash, yeah.
True.
But you see, truly, like we said earlier, when you're working in your purpose, it gives you a lot of satisfaction, fulfillment, and inner energy. When I discovered my purpose, I knew I was going to be, of course, all my life I'm going to be a communicator. I'm a visual artist. I paint good. I do good paintings, but I know painting for me is a professional course.
True.
It's not my purpose.
True.
So all I do with painting is to give some voice with my communication, yeah? But you see, when I found out my purpose, the first thing I did was to start looking for a community of people that walk in my lane. You talked about lane.
Yes.
Because you see, if you are on the wrong lane and you're successful, you're still a failure. You're still a failure because that's not what you were called to do. Every one of us, we have an assignment. We have a delicate purpose. There's something we were born to deliver. If I become so successful in tech, that could be a lot of advantage to me, but that would be a distortion to why I was born. I was born to serve a delicate purpose. So when it comes to purpose, what I did first was to start looking for people who live and walk in my lane. So I needed mentors. I needed people I could look up to, and I can dream upwards, yeah? And irrespective of the fact that some of my friends may have had a lot of money in what they're doing, and it doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me one bit because in what I do, I find passion, I find joy, I find excitement,
Yes.
I find money even in it.
Yes.
You see, the truth is, when you're living in your purpose, money will come to you. You can't serve value and be broke.
It's not possible.
You see, you can't serve value and be broke, and you must get it. The money may not be coming like your friend is coming in like that, yeah. But just stay where you were asked to stay. Develop it. Become good at it. When people look for someone who solved that kind of a problem,
You should be the number one.
you come to mind, and then your value price can go up. Your value price will go up because I was talking to someone. I said, if you're good at something,
Yes.
don't sell it for free. Put the price to it because the world will ask you for it. Just be good at something.
Be good.
Be good at it. Don't bother. People will ask you for it and they'll pay for it. So that's it. When I found my purpose, I started reading books. I've read a lot of books because I knew if I was going to be a great communicator, I should have read a lot.
You need to be informed.
Yes, I need to have a lot of information. I need to know my word. I need to know my space. So I read a lot of books. I went to a lot of conferences. I met a lot of people. I got mentors, home-based and foreign-based. Firstly, I like foreign-based mentors. Forgive me. That's because sometimes when I look at them, I like the kind of classy excellence they give in their brand, as it were. So I look out for foreign mentors. I took courses. I didn't just say I was gifted with communication and
you
then
sleep.
I slept. No, I read books. I learned how to talk. I learned how to relate with people on all grounds. So this started forming the quality of my purpose. It started forming the quality of it. So I think when you find your purpose, don't just stop there. It's not about discovering, it's about developing and then deploying it. You discover, you develop, and you deploy it. That's how you truly give value to the world.
How do you find your purpose?
First, it's
Because that's one of the
yeah.
most important part of life. How do you find your purpose? That's one. Number two, do you think someone can have more than one purpose?
Okay.
You think you could have, yes, especially, do you think you could have more than one purpose?
Let me say it this way. First, let me answer how do you discover your purpose. Your purpose are connected to your talents, your natural born talents.
Things you do with ease.
Things you do with ease. If you do certain things with ease, it is connected to your purpose. You know why? There's a tool for what you were called for. It was installed into you by birth. So how do I know I'm born to do this? I'm going to look at for those things I do. When I do them, time stands still. It doesn't matter what happens, I enjoy doing it. So
Even if you're not paid.
even if I'm not paid, I feel good with it. So that's how you discover. You look at for your natural born talent. If you're good with tech things, it's indicate that you're supposed to be building yourself around the tech space. If you're good with music, I find a lot of people whose songs were supposed to be singing, but they only sing their song when they're in the bathroom.
A lot.
And they never get to write those songs, and we never get to sing them.
A lot.
Some songs will make a lot of sense if they only sang those songs or put them in the space, in the media space, and help us sing them. Do you know there are people who are not going to release their potentials because they don't believe in it? they think someone else is good than themselves. But that's not true.
Entirely
So look out for the little things you do. Recently, we were looking at the Hida Basi.
yes.
Take off all the social media backings. Take all of the support. There is something you cannot take out of that girl. She knows how to cook. She made over 100 and something meals cooking. And guess what? She's not the best cook in the world. Someone could know how to cook more better than Hida. But because she loved it and she put herself into it, it became a global recipe. It became a global one to talk about. So that's how your purpose is connected to your inborn talent. Don't allow anybody put down your inborn talent. If I need to say this. When I was in secondary school, I need to say this. When I was in secondary school, I was cracking the joke one day, and one of my classmates said, "I'm not laughing because you're funny." She said, "I'm laughing because you're stupid." I mean, for me, I was like, let the ground just open, and then I go right inside.
Yes.
I could talk for a lifetime. I could just be talking. I find strength in it. So, I felt bad anyways, but I didn't stop talking. In class then, if my name was not in the names of noisemakers, it will be retrieved. It's as bad as that.
Are you serious?
I mean, if the course teacher was looking at the names and didn't find my name, he would say it's not true. And the truth is, I talked. For the very fact that my name was not there was because the person writing the names of noisemaker as at that time was my friend. I was good with the person. But you see, something happened a few years downwards. I continued with my talking, but now I changed from saying stupid things to saying reasonable things.
Very important.
And then that same lady one time looked at some of the things I did and she was quite inspired. She said, "I didn't know you were going to do so much with this." You see, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Put something better around it. Push it better. Let the world see what you can do. It's around your talent. Your purpose is around your talent. With time, you're going to be able to navigate it rightly. You navigate it rightly. Now, I missed your second question. I hope I can remember.
Yes. Before the second question, talking about purpose and passion. So, I recently made a post. In fact, I made a full video about it. And I said, there's a difference between your purpose and your passion.
Yes.
Now, with respect to what you said, right? This is for me personally. I feel your purpose might not be things you are passionate about initially. Like you say, art, drawing, painting. There might be things you are very passionate about. But for you to fund things, to fund your purpose, you might do things you're not passionate about. For instance, reading. By default, a lot of young people don't like reading.
Exactly.
In fact, myself, when I was a child, I hated reading completely.
Exactly.
Like my parents would literally tell my sister, "You can't talk to your brother, he needs to read." But I don't know where the switch came in. Because I think I found purpose at that point.
Exactly, that's
gifts. You are sent on a mission to the world to talk to people, to make them become better people, right? So for me to do those things, I have to be informed.
Exactly.
I have to know how to talk. I have to be articulated. I have to have a lot of stories. I have to be fluent. I have to remove a lot of things. So I started doing things I'm not passionate about.
Yeah.
Like reading, listening to podcasts, listening to other men and talking to other people.
Yeah.
So now, as an individual, or as a young person, what do you think are the things we are missing in respect to our purpose and passion?
We are not. You're still on?
Yes.
Okay. I think we're not daring enough to pursue it. Dick Briggs made a powerful statement. He said the greatest gap in life is knowing and not doing.
Very true.
Knowing and not doing. I mean, some of us have even discovered what we are, but we're not daring enough to push. You talked about reading. I was like that too. I didn't like to read. I only read for exams.
Hated it.
Just to pass exams.
Hated it.
Just to pass exam. But when I discovered, by the way, I was designed to help people live in fullness forever. That's what I was born to do. Help people live fully ever. So when I discovered that, I knew I needed to start studying.
It's a must.
So there were times I remember the first 3 books I bought: Think Big by Carson, Every Woman, the Gynecological Principle, The Power of Positive Thinking, the Vincent Pearl. Those are the 3 books I bought first. Reading those books, the first Think Big, when I was reading that book, I could not read that book completely because every time I tried to read that book, I slept off. So I read Think Big for almost 1 year. Reading that book was like they sent sleep from my village.
Anytime you read one line, you can go through one line like 5 times.
Man, you're sleepy, stuff like that.
True.
But what I did not stop was I knew I was headed for somewhere. So I kept at it. I did 15 minutes. 15 minutes, I went to 30 minutes. I read for 2 hours. And one of the days I read for 8 hours stretch. And ever since I have not stopped reading. I read every day, I write every day.
Very important.
Yeah, so the thing is, beyond knowing it, the daringness to pursue it, to push until there's a break. So, like we talked about it, you've discovered it. Find a community of people
True.
that walk in that lane you're trying to go to. Stay with them. They will rub off their thing on you. They will become quite inspired. Don't sit with people who are not going anywhere.
It's not possible.
They will always find a way to keep you with them. So what I had to do, what I think I will cancel is, when you find your purpose, okay, start living in that community. Number 2, go for it. Be daring enough. Take some risk to see to it that you hit at it. You're going to have some failures. Some people are going to say no to you many times, but don't say no to yourself. If you do not say no to yourself, then there's a breakthrough for your head. You know, what's his name? Stephen Harvey said, there's a probability to winning if you don't quit.
True.
If you quit, then you cancel the probability.
Everything.
So I think what you should do is look for people. It's about people. Find people who are in your field. See what they are doing. Stay with them. Long enough, it will rub off on you. And the things you find difficult to do, you see yourself doing it. There's nothing so big about discovering your purpose and going for it. I think so.
For me personally, I've had a lot of experience with a lot of young people. And one of the most painful thing is delayed gratification and instant gratification. I know we're going to talk about it, so I had to allow you go.
Yeah.
Finding purpose or developing purpose requires delayed gratification. Whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
These things don't just happen instantaneously.
Exactly.
So now, the process of working or developing, what do you have to say about delayed gratification?
Wait for it. It will surely come. You see, it can be delayed, but don't stop being the best of you. Something, I want to quote this man, Apostle Joshua Selman. He made a very powerful statement. He said, everything you're looking for is looking for you, but not this exact version of you. There's a lot in that statement.
Yes.
If you start off, sometimes you want to blow. You know the point. You want to blow, yeah, because you've seen some people blow too.
Yes.
Yeah, you're like
people that you are better
that
than.
you seem to be good at. You know, you're like, man, I'm good. I mean, I can do more better. Why am I not out there?
Yes.
But something I've discovered, you're building more capacity. Because I think it was John Wooden who said that it will be too late to prepare when opportunity comes. It will be too late to prepare when opportunity comes.
That's a lot.
Don't think you're missing out. You're building more strength. Truly, the depth of a tall building is not the same as the foundation of a shallow building.
True.
It may seem as though you're not making progress, but it's not true. You are making progress. And let me say this, the success of another man doesn't mean you're failing.
Say it again to the camera.
The success of another man does not mean you're failing. You're making progress. You don't know how much progress you're already making. So the thing is, as you keep studying, as you keep learning, as you keep developing yourself, it may seem as though you don't have the loud visibility as it were at the moment, but hold on. Your one strike could change everything. You see, you can gather 10 years past hiddenness by one shot, one definite, defined shot. And they say, where have you been? You've been the guy I've been looking for. And that will change everything for your whole life. For that one act, you will never go out of business until Jesus comes. I like to say that because you see, you're like, you to yourself, you're like, man, I'm doing well. Nobody wants to recommend me. Nobody wants to sign me as an ambassador, but I'm good. Guy, keep gathering it. Keep gathering. I want to say something. I write a lot of articles. I have a lot of articles. Right now, if you ask me to give you articles, I don't need to go back and start writing. I just go to my iCaps and I withdraw some articles and I give to you. I was writing for this company in the United States. I was writing for a friend, and the friend would give to these people in the United States. And I wrote this article several years ago. I put out the article and I gave to this guy to sell to them. He sold to them and they said, this is the best article they've ever read. I didn't sit to write. It was an article I had several years ago. And you know what? They increased my pay because of that simple article. And you know that article is not the best of my articles. I mean, it's not the best of my articles. It's the least of my articles. So what I will say to you is, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad. Don't feel that you're not gaining the gratification you seek.
The popularity,
the fame, the blueness, whatever. Work at whatever you're doing. Be daring. Keep at it. Keep at it. One of these days, someone will pick your work and say, this is what we've been looking for all these years. And it will give you the loud visibility you've been seeking for. So why stop now because you think nothing is working? There is such a thing known as commitment. Commitment to the task. And that's why you don't need to do this because of money.
You're literally speaking to me.
You don't need to do this for the figures. Do it because you want to serve value to the world.
True.
You know why people will always get out of the business is because nobody's paying me, I'm going to get out of here. No, it's not the money that is the purpose. The money is to help someone become better. When you add value to people, I dare say to you, it has a way of reverting themselves.
I'm going to literally show you something I made today, an exact video of what you're saying.
Wow.
Completely. I was talking to somebody and I said, she asked me, she said that she stopped making content because of low views. That how am I constantly uploading on YouTube every week and every day on TikTok and Instagram? I said, the truth is, we don't know how far we can go or how far any of our content will reach if we stop. So you've literally stopped.
Yeah.
So what makes you think you would actually know the next video that was going to be?
That's going to be a big deal, yeah.
So if we can't consistently push, we're not pushing first to make fame. We're pushing first because we want to prove to ourselves that, guy, you can sit down, turn on the camera, talk to the camera every day. And there's, Jim Rohn said something, he said, everything affects everything. So because you can literally
everything affects
everything. Because you can sit down, turn on the camera, upload, and one person view. Tomorrow you do the same. Next tomorrow you do the same. You're not building an audience first. You're building his personal confidence. That if I tell myself I will do this, I will literally do this.
It's true.
Now we're breaking into social media. What is the negative effect of social media on young people? I care more about our generation or even the coming generation, because to a large extent I think we failed. Some people or a larger amount of us out there have failed. So what is that thing that social media has snatched from us?
I think social media has the better part of it as well as the negative. One of the things I feel social media has done negatively is to make people think that if you're not trending, you're not doing anything. They make you think that if you're not viral, you're not doing anything with your life. It's not true. There are a lot of other negatives, but I think I want to point to this direction. You talked about low views when you do whatever you're doing, and somebody's like,
please.
I'm not doing so much because your friend has 3,000 plus. And you want to have that kind of figures and you feel bad. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. I want to say something. You know, I write quotes a lot. I wrote a quote and I uploaded it for over a year and I forgot about it. After a year, somebody read the quote and it changed their life. You didn't know this person sent me put together over $3,000. It was a quote I forgot. This same person sent me a Mac Pro laptop. I don't know this person. What if I had stopped after them?
What if you had not even uploaded
What if I had not uploaded that one? And you know that one quote, that quote did not have up to 100 views. That single quote didn't have up to 100 likes. You know, the point is we were thinking likes is the success. It's not the success. It's how impactful your thoughts were.
Just changing one life is enough.
You don't know who's gonna view it. That's why I always say you don't know who is viewing what you're doing. It could be the president of a nation. It could be a pauper. It doesn't matter. The point is that they saw your best. You don't know who is viewing what you're going to do next. And it could be someone who is at the dire need of the answer that you carry. And then you say, I'm not going to do it again. That could change your life and it can equally change your life.
By extension.
So I think social media makes you think that if you're not trending, you're not a success. Don't do it for the trend. Do it because you value people. Do it because you want to help someone better. Do it because you believe that you have something to serve. Another part of social media I think that is quite we need to look at is the fact that a lot of people make loud thoughts on social media that should be private.
Please.
Something I see regularly on social media and I wish a lot of people will hear me out is that not everything is for the public. Some things of your private life should be kept private. One of those things I feel I'm not comfortable with on social media is when people talk about their body counts on social media. Certain things should be kept private. Not everything needs the social media attention. But we live in a world where everybody puts everything out on social media. That's why it seems as if our world is tearing apart. Our parents didn't have any better than our life. They had their worst days, they had their tough days, but they learned how to protect their secrets and keep it until they solved that problem. But for us, everything, we try to put it on social media and then tear ourselves apart. These things travel so far and then it creates a lot of problem in the minds of people. Someone could look at your video and see that you used to be a couple go, and then the same couple go fights on social media. Then they think marriage, they say relationship don't work really. It's unexcellent. It's unexcellent. So I think that social media is doing its good part because it can give a lot of access to a lot of people. But there are certain things that social media is really doing in the negative that young people should just be careful. I know what I just said. Some people still don't like it. They say, what, does it concern you? It's not my life, but you're a part of a society.
Very important.
And because you're part of a society, people are looking up to you. We need to be inspired by you. Don't tell us things that will not inspire us. Keep those parts of you that are not excellent within. Protect yourself. Tomorrow, that same thought of yours could be all that there is to mess your whole life up. That's why you must be careful with social media. It doesn't forget.
Did you sorry to cut. Did you see that tweet that a man was applying for a Zenith Bank job?
Okay, yeah.
And then I think he was at the edge of getting the job, and then the management dug out
a tweet
he made negatively about the brand
years ago.
I tell people the parable of the farmer is exactly the parable of social media. You're planting a seed. You literally don't know where it's going to fall.
Exactly.
You literally don't know where it's going to fall. And if it falls in the wrong hand or the right hand, be ready to bear the consequences positively
or negatively.
Well, coming to conclusion, right?
Okay.
And I want to ask one very important question. Very important question.
Okay.
And that has to do with men. Men. I'm an advocate for men. When I mean men, I mean young men, because I always tell my friends, men are the problem. When men fail, the society fails at large.
That's true.
We're having weaker men on a daily basis. In fact, statistics says that about 60 to 100 years ago, the average handshake of a man was over 116 pounds.
Wow.
And the average handshake of a woman was 196 pounds. In 2023 now, the average handshake of a man is less than 160 pounds. The testosterone level of men are declining by 5% every year. So we're literally having weaker men every day. And that's why women supposedly are becoming stronger. Because men are falling. And because men are falling, it looks like women are rising. I'm not trying to quantify these two people, but they are different. What do you have to say to men? Just, I really want to...
I'm touched already. I feel emotion already because... You see, the subject you just asked me now is quite important. I talk about it a lot because truly, like you said, the man is the foundation of the society. He carries the weight of the society. So if the man is not stable and strong enough in his convictions, the society will fall. Forget how strong women are. They look up to men.
Whether they like it or not.
They really look up to men. They look out for faithful men. They look out for consistent men. They look out for dedicated men. They may fall for anything, but truly they know deep inside of them, every woman wants a man that could be a great father to her, regardless that they are married to this man. Our world is turning upside down because our men seems to also be feeling intimidated by women too. You know, in the old days, men got their ego from work, and then women got their satisfaction from service to their husband. But today, the man work, the woman work. So somehow it seems as if the both of them are fighting. Yeah, but it's not. It doesn't affect nothing if truly we know how to navigate life. Men go through a lot. Yeah, they go through a lot. It's something we don't talk about. I've had the opportunity to visit the prisons 3 times, speaking to men in prisons, and I get so pained every time I look at how full our prisons are. They try to navigate life, and life doesn't seem to open up, and then they hit against the road and make a mess of their lives, and then they throw them behind bars. You know, one of those times I was speaking to this man in prison, and then he spoke to me, said, how I wish I could change. How I wish I could change. He said, I just need freedom and I will change. You know, the choices we make will solely determine the consequences we get. I want to encourage the men. Life could be tough sometimes, yeah? It could be stressful sometimes, but don't give up on your masculinity. Don't use it as a weapon against the woman. Strive to do things that are justifiable. It may not be a great break for you today, but if you stay in the arena of faithful service, the little it is, it will grow. It will grow. It will grow. Don't always make it seem as though all men are scums. You see, sometimes some people make that statement because out of their recurring experience, they've seen men fail again and again.
True.
I heard a young lady say, when a man takes me out, the next thing in his head is to shift my pants. Why should the lady be thinking that way? Men can serve value without asking for a return.
True.
Yeah, it works that way. It can happen. So let's change the dynamics. We'll go out there, we'll chase the society, we deal with it, and we come back to protect our wives and our kids. We can give them a better life. And please, if you're going through so much stuff, I know you want to make life. I know there's so much demand on your shoulders. You have to pay bills because a lot of big bills come to men, yeah? You've got to pay your own bills, you've got to pay family bills, you've got to pay the babes' bills and all of these things. Don't give up on yourself. Don't give up. Don't fight so hard that you lose your conscience. Look at our streets. Young men are going to courts. Young men are going into, they are trying to make money at expense, at all expense.
Yeah.
Fraud. Nobody cares.
No morals.
No morals. Just, this doesn't concern me. I just need the money. It doesn't work that way. I've studied the wealthy people. I've studied all wealthy people that exist in the world. None of them made their money like this. None of them made their money like this. They went through tough times. They went through the process because it takes time to be wealthy, really.
Not rich, wealthy.
It takes time to be wealthy, really, because there's a lot of things attached to being wealthy. Being wealthy doesn't mean money. You know, you can be broke and you have a lot of money.
True.
Someone could just put a car across and then they could take you out of this city immediately on safety basis because of relationship. So it's not always about money. There's a life that is required for all men. Please, I'm encouraging you. I know it's tough sometimes, yeah? It's tough sometimes, yeah? But please, again and again, look at yourself and tell yourself, I'll be different. I tell myself all the time, I want to be one man that is different. I want to be one man that is different. When they say all men are scum, I say, no, you didn't check out on me. And when you check out on me, you're going to find the true difference. And it's possible. It is possible. Don't sell so cheap. They tell you we're going to give you $1 million for your kidney. We're going to give you $1 million, bring your mom or stuff like that. Do you know how worthy your life is? Your life is worth more than $1 million.
It is.
Someone gave a confession and said he wants to sell his kidney for some million. You want to sell your kidney? Is that how much money you want? How much money do you even want? For your kidney? For your kidney? How much? And let's even talk about the amount of money this guy is talking about. It doesn't pass 5 million naira, 10 million naira.
Even if it's 20, 100.
Even if it's $100 million.
The amount of money you're going to spend in maintaining the other kidney alone will be way more than that.
I'm really touched because you see, growing up anyways, most of our boy child has not been paid attention to. So, you know, do you know our girls are in trouble because most of our guys do not think right.
I always say it's men are the problem.
It is. It's always falls back to us. I don't know why, but because of the responsibility that is given to us as men.
By default.
We've got to sit up. This world can only be better if we take our place and do the right thing. Women are not the problem. They will always submit towards our direction if we do the right thing. See, women will always follow after a man who they can truly believe is a great leader. That's why you see more women in church pastored. Because all of them are seeking for a true leader. Their husbands are not the true leader they seek. So that's why you see them most times submit to one man in the church. But literally they should have been submitting to their husbands. Because the true quality, the true beauty of a woman reflects when their husbands is a person of value. So men, be a person of value. Go all out for value. Seek to be valuable. It will help you deal with life better, deal with those in your sphere of contact, as it were. I'm encouraging men because I know what happens. I mean, the prisons are full of men. I've been there 3 times. I can tell you the whole place is jammed of men. They don't even know have a place to sleep. The first time I went there, I was crying because I saw teenagers held up with handcuffs. I could not imagine. I stopped going because I cannot control the emotional pain. I stopped going because I could not help it. It was so dead. It was also painful. Please, men, I'm encouraging you. We can do this a better way. There's a better way. There is a better way.
I must confess, this has been the most productive, engaging conversation we've had on the BigQuestion.
Thank you so much.
I'm happy we're doing this. I'm happy you're putting yourself out there through content, through books, to make the world a better place. I really, really want to appreciate you. I have the last question to ask you.
Okay.
What's your advice for yourself if you're looking at your younger self? If you want to reflect back to the younger you, what would you say to yourself? What would you tell yourself that, please do this thing at this particular point? Do this thing now so that you'll be grateful for yourself. What would you think you would tell yourself? That's 1.
Okay.
And 2, what will you tell your future self that's coming or that you are going to meet?
You know, whenever I get this kind of question, sometimes it hits me a bit. But I think my younger self, I don't want to say I regret anything, because everything that I've gone through in life has previously prepared me for where I am now. The mistakes, the good times, everything prepared me for where I am today. They may not be nice, but they all prepared me. And of course, my younger self is now in my past. I cannot retrieve it. I wish I could, but I cannot. But let's say to the future. First, the future lives inside of me. You know, most likely we'll say we're going to the future. We're not going to no future. We're releasing our future.
Our future is in us.
Yes, it's in us. We're releasing it. So what I'm going to say to my now life, because my future is coming out of me, keep doing what you're doing and do it more excellently. More excellently. And then if you're listening to me right now and you're thinking to yourself, what can I do with my life going forward? Whatever you've done in the previous is fine. You've done it. You cannot stop. You cannot retrieve it. They all make up the person you're going to become. Okay? But what I'm going to say to you is, start living the best life now. Today counts. Today counts. Who you're going to be tomorrow is a result of now. So put yourself in the right position that gives you the opportunity to gain new values, new networkings, new relationships that betters your personality, and release what's inside of you. Listen, every one of you, you came in full packed. It's like the iPhone. Nothing is going to come from the iPhone company into the phone. Everything required for the iPhone was logged into the iPhone. What you do is release what's in the iPhone. Everything you require for your life is logged inside of you. Everything outside is only a stir-up, a push to help what is inside of you get to big light. Keep pushing at what you're doing. Get inspired. Get people who are inspiring to live around you. And then that way you can release the best part of you. The best of you is inside of you. Shoot it out.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me on the BigQuestion. Yeah.
Thank
Thank you, Mr. Gift. I'm super excited. Thank you, and the production team. Thank you so much. I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. I look forward to it.
Subscribe button, and then everywhere you can find him will be linked down in the description. My name is Gift, and I'll see you in the next one.